Yes, hello. Yes, sir. It's Wednesday night. Yes, fantasy football night. That's correct. Line is forming to the right. Yeah, both fantasy leagues as well as the Survivor League. Correct. We'll be covering all that, sir. Yeah, some people did look like shit this week. Yeah, there were some that looked all right. We'll get to all that. Yes, ma'am. Mini bars open. It's always open. VIP to the right. Line is to the left, please. Yes, Wednesday night, fantasy football night. Always in season. Hardcore Challenge Live, yes. Commish is in the house, yes, he will be hosting. Yeah, it's not just silver and black tonight. Unfortunately, we do have fans of other teams that stop by on Wednesday nights. It is fantasy football night, ma'am. I know. Normally we would toss them out, but some of these are hardcore challenge owners, man. Yes, show will be starting very soon. Thank you for joining us. These guys like to run a tight show. Enjoy the show.
T-minus 1 minute. T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0.
Rips the helmet off Rudolph's head and then eventually swings it and hits him in the head.
1, 2, 3, where you not hardcore? Let you live hardcore. And the letter of the rich was way hardcore. Yeah! Now we're rocking.
What's up, fantasy football fans, members of the Raider Nation, football fans in general? Welcome to another edition of Hardcore Challenge Live, the official podcast of the Hardcore Challenge. And in case you didn't fucking know, it is the pinnacle of fantasy football competition. It's not one of them easy-ass leagues that you can just coast through, playing your fucking cousins, your coworkers, the forklift driver at your fucking warehouse. Does he really know football? Probably not. Your big matchups against your sister this week. No, that's not the pinnacle of fantasy football competition. This is. Look at these fucking jokers out in the comments, and David's a fucking elated. It's probably been the high of his week. Son of a bitch. So let's get into it, shall we? Damn, it's bad enough fucking JoJo's 3-0 and the highest scoring team in the Raider League. He can't get, he's fucking heads in the cloud. Now David fucking won. Jeez Louise. Good Lord. I have to fucking stroke them both today. Let's go. Last week's game of the weeks, big ballers, low ballers. Legal rosters, everybody's been doing very, very well in the legal rosters this season. Let's keep that up. Game of the weeks for this week. We'll take a spin around the league and talk great about you or shit on you. I'm going to have to shit on myself in one of the leagues this season. Possibly both. And, of course, we'll remind you of our show schedule. We are a half hour late tonight, but, better late than fucking never. No networks fucking over here paying me, so. All right, moving along. We come on when the fuck we want. Oh, and for those of you that give a shit, I will be live on Raider Reaction TikTok. Oh, I don't know, about 11 Eastern time or a little after. I'm going to do a live stream on there since I missed the podcast last night. I'm going to do a Q&A. Take questions and comments live on TikTok. Probably going live between 11:15. I'll be live on there. I'll be live for probably 15-20 minutes. And then I will download that and post that to all the other social medias so that you can enjoy the fun too. So I'm sure there'll be some fucking lovely questions and comments that I'm going to have to take. I just didn't feel like doing a show last night because, I don't know. Sometimes the negativity just gets to me at the beginning of a season when the team looks like absolute open ass. And that's all I want to say. Let's move on. Shall we? Last week's Game of the Week.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
It's time
Is this not why you are here?
for the Hardcore Challenge Game of the Week.
Last week's Game of the Week in the All-Rated Nation League, the two-time defending champ did not show up with a meager 151. That is not enough to compete for Game of the Week and come away with the dub. Raiders all day, 176. It wasn't even close. We're just handing out a beating from pretty much fucking the opening kickoff. Raider Richie was never in this one. Raiders all day beats Raider Richie. Tax on, third straight win. Jonathan Taylor scored 3 touchdowns. Tampa Bay Bucks defense added 23. Raiders all day took down Raider Richie 176-151. Took a 95-point lead on Sunday afternoon and maintained that advantage the rest of the matchup. They are still undefeated. CeeDee Lamb, 0 points, injured. That might come back to bite him later. We'll see. But nonetheless, a solid victory in Game of the Week for the Raiders all day. Over in the big league. Game of the Week in the big league. And it was kind of a funky one. There just wasn't anybody playing it. No undefeated teams were playing undefeated teams. So I kind of went with Woo because they got their freaking first win. So I was going with them. Pack Attack is back, was fucking back up against the wall, sitting at 0-2, staring 0-3 in the eye. And they got off the snide. Pack Attack is back, moves up to 1-2. And Woo drops to 1-2. So there's our recap of Game of the Weeks for this week. Pack Attack is back, wins against Woo, moves to 10th place. They took a 6-point lead Thursday and maintained an advantage through the whole matchup. It just really, this one wasn't ever even close either. Both Game of the Weeks were a little fucking disappointing this week, gotta say. A little disappointing. All right, that's Game of the Weeks. Big Ballers of the Week. Let's start in the All Raider Nation League, shall we? Big Baller of the Week for Week 3. Let's see. Hold on. Sure, why not? Like you don't know who it is. Man, she's off and running and kicking ass in the, this one wasn't even fucking close either. 259. 259. That's a big ass score. That's a big ass score. Congratulations, Tony. That is a fucking huge score. Shadow Raider, our only female owner in the All Raider Nation League, and she is handing out fucking L's. Big L's. 259, 176. That's a fucking drubbing. Absolute drubbing. Over in, let's see, the Big Baller this week in the OG League was Knox Vegas Anarchy against Daco. That's a bummer, man. You scored almost 200 points. You scored 200 points and taking an L. It happened to me this week in the All-Rated Nation League. That sucks. If you're knocking around 200, usually that's a dub. But 246, that's a big fucking score. And that Daco was pissed off of this one because he's running a solid score there. Just was chasing all game long. Just was chasing. Got the highest score this season. Their highest score, beating Daco 246 to 197. Took a 74-point lead on Sunday afternoon and maintained that advantage for the rest of the matchup. That's a solid win right there. Solid win, and you're sitting with a big ball tag this week. Well, we always start at the top, but you got to finish at the bottom. Low ballers this week. Emmett Who. I don't know what's up with Emmett Who. Roger, since he's came to the league, had been dominant. Owned the division. Now he's out the gate rough this season, and now he ends up on low ballers already in week 3, taking another L from a division rival. Tough one. Tough start for Emmett Who this season. A perennial playoff face since he joined the league a few years back. Shocking one. I was shocked to see that's where he's sitting right now. Max Destruction. Low baller across the board this week at 129 through all the leagues. Oh, man. Lions is feeding him some bad info or something. I don't know what's going on there, but we're hoping he has a bounce back next week, because he definitely stepped in something in week 3. All right, moving along. Legal rosters, like I said, I really haven't had any issues with the legal roster. We had like a bump in the road in like week 1. Everybody knows you got to keep a mandatory defensive bench spot. You got to have a special teams player, individual defensive player, or team defense on your bench at all times. We added the extras bench spot just to support the defensive side of the ball, so we don't want you hoarding. Don't want you hoarding them goddamn offensive players. So everybody's doing a good job at that. And only IR in your reserve spots. We haven't had any issues with that either. Only IR in your reserve spots. I got a guy in both of my teams in IR. I lost Joe Burrow, my fucking franchise quarterback, who's attached to my franchise wide receiver Jamar Chase in the big league. That one fucking hurt. And then I lost Aaron Jones last week on my number 1 running back in the All-Raider Nation League. It's not been a great season for me thus far. Fantasy football just, I don't know. I love football, but football just don't love me. I don't understand. I just don't understand. Game of the week in the All-Rated Nation League this week will be Raiders all day versus One Nation. We got 3-0 Josh coming off of taking down the 2-time defending champion last week's game of the week. He's sitting at 3-0, facing off against Bryant, who got his first loss last week. He's looking for a bounce back. We'll see. We'll see. Raiders all day is this one. They're the early favorite, but as you see, this one, they got it trading back and forth, and they got this one coming down to the wire. You got Jordan Love against Baker Mayfield. They both got injuries, questionables across the board on both of them. CeeDee Lamb over here with the big injury. Got Njoku as well as Devontae Adams all dinged up. There you go. I got to take a pick in this one. I'm picking Raiders all day. They look like they might be the one of the strong teams early on here in the All-Raider Nation League. I'm picking them to go 4-0 in this week's game of the week. Game of the week is going to be in the NFC this week in the big league. I knew I was missing something. Every time I stopped talking, it just seemed too quiet. I knew I was missing something. Yeah, we forgot to start the background music. There we go. I knew it sounded too quiet. I could hear you breathing down there. That's what set me off. All right, moving on. It is a matchup. Not only a matchup of undefeated 3-0 early powerhouses in the NFC, it is a matchup of two former league champions. Brian, Gary, Skull Crushers take it deep, facing off 3-0 against 3-0. Right now, this was Take It Deep's the early favorite with a 15-point projected victory right now, 185 to 170. But you see, it's projected to be very close. Gary and the Skull Crushers are expected to close the gap late. It's going to come down to Monday Night Football. And can Gary close the gap with his two Monday night players? Or possibly more, because, obviously there's still changes to be made. But this is a big matchup right here. Both these guys are sitting with early leads in their division at 3-0. This one was a tough one. I looked at this one. Let's look at these rosters right quick. Caleb Williams, Josh Allen. I don't know. When I looked at this one, I think their line graph trends well. I think Gary's going to come on late, but I'm picking Gary to come on late and just pass Brian a little bit on Monday night. I think he's going to steal this one on Monday Night Football. I'm picking Skull Crushers to win in the game of the week in our 32 owner OG League, Season 17. That's who's going to win. Let's take a spin around the league. Shall we? Oh, let's start in the big league. Let's start in the NFC. We're already freaking here. Let's start with the Great White North. We just talked about him. I got him picked to win the game of the week this week. Gary and the Skull Crusher sitting at 3-0, sole possession of the Great White North. Kilowatt is sitting at 2-1. Lucky number 11. Not been so lucky they lost 2 in a row. And Carol, freaking fracking football time. What's going on over there, Carol? Sitting at 0-3 with 3 straight losses. Also playing in Game of the Week, Brian and Take It Deep sitting at 3-0 with a full 2-game lead over the rest of these guys in the Elite East. Woo! Sitting at, they're right there tied for second. The new owner, as everybody else is sitting at 1-2. Knoxville Assassins, Pack Attack is back. Their Game of the Week victory, getting to 2-1. This division is anybody's grab right now. Black Hole, Cheesehead, both sitting at 2-1 with Renegade Outlaws right there with them. Who's Travis with 2 straight wins pops up. They're all 3 tied for first. Donkey Punch, J-Dub. What the fuck is going on down there? Sitting at 0-3, winless out the gate. Bed Bath & Beyond sitting at 3-0 with a early division lead. The division defending league champ, Willie and the Bandits, got off the snide this week. Bounced back with a win. They're sitting at 2-1. Bucknuts takes an L. And I lost my chub. They've got an owner, general manager, secretary. They've got a whole squad of owners helping out with this team. But, they're still sitting at 0-3. They lost my chub, and they lost more than that. They have lost 3 in a row.
What? Thanks, bro.
All right, moving on to the AFC. Knox Vegas Anarchy. Whoa, what happened? 2-1. 2-1. Bad Company. 2-1. Daco Tuesdays 1-2, and Answer to the Master 1-2. Saw a little separation this week in that league. Blackout got the bounce back this week. They went from big baller to low baller to winner again this week as they're sitting at 2-1. Stone Ponies, Ryan, his AI must not have been working right this week. Dropped to 2-1. Bison Broncos, 2 straight wins. Moved up to 2-1. And Emmett Who, I talked about him earlier, just not doing well. They came in and they've owned that division since they joined the league a few years back. Been in the playoffs every year. Had some success and just a rough start. Fantasy football is a fucking nasty bitch sometimes. Under the Influence, look at Matt. Jumping out to the fucking early lead in this division. It was always a tough division. The other three guys all know each other in this division. Matt's kind of the outsider, but Matt and Stinky Pinky were in the same division for a long time prior to the other two joining. So there's some history here with everybody, and those two have battled down to the wire literally last week of the division many times. So Matt taking an early lead 3-0. That's big. Stinky Pinky with 2 straight wins, always bouncing back strong. I got him this week. King Salami, 2 straight losses, and Bleeding Green has lost 3 straight. The Refrigerator Raiders sitting at 3-0. The Dirty South took me down this week. Bucka Raider lost. All Pro Afro won. We're all sitting at 1-2. Ryan has a full 2-game lead over all the rest of us. It's not where we want to be. I need to bounce back with the dub this week in the big league. Over in the All Rated Nation League, Raiders all day with that win in the game of the week is sitting at 3-0. Raider Richie losing in the game of the week drops to 2-1. Black Hole Lions got off the snide. He's 1-2. Skullfuck the Chiefs sitting at 0-3. Our new owner in the league, and they're over there. They're a little confused yet. And they got to play me this week. 0-3 against 0-3. So one of us is fucking winning. One of us is winning. That's for sure. Death Dealers sitting at 3-0, owning this division right now, off to an early lead, full 2 games over everybody else. Nick's out for Harrenby, Max Destruction, low baller, bringing the pain, ain't bringing nothing right now, sitting at 1-2. Shadow Raider, big baller of the league, owning this division right now, sitting at 3-0, highest scoring team in the league, only team to have scored over 700 points over here. That's legit, folks. 700 already. Haywood Gang trying to keep up back there at 2-1. Raider Nation 98 sitting at 1-2, and Raider Nation 770 sitting at 0-3. Ouch. Raider. I might hit the wrong button there. Dirty South, Savage Wolfpack, JoJo. All right, everybody, stop and acknowledge JoJo and his accomplishments of being 3-0. He wants his early season trophy. Bring in this trophy. There is no fucking trophy for 3-0, JoJo. So just cool your fucking jets. One Nation, 2-1. Autumn Pirate, all excited because they beat me in an absolute shootout. I scored over 200 and lost by less than 10 points to the Autumn Pirate. And Raw Dog Nation, I'm sitting at 0-3. I would like to note over here that 616 you see over there, that is the most points scored against anybody in the league. Defense is not winning championships right now for the Raw Dog Nation. We have injuries. I didn't even draft this team, but it doesn't matter. I know how to fucking fix a team. It just takes me a few weeks. But what's hilarious to me is the amount of trade requests I have right now in my inbox. Come on. Dude, this isn't my first rodeo, fellas. I'm 0-3. I just scored over 200 points. My team is not that bad. We took an L. 0-3 doesn't mean it's time for a fucking fire sale over here. Get out of here. Get out of here. You can't fucking... David thinks you can fix shit through the waiver wire. You can fix very little through the waiver wire. My team scored over 200 points. We did just fine. I would have won against damn near everybody else in the league. We'll be fine. We're going to skullfuck the Chiefs this week, and then we'll be moving on with a win, and we'll be fine. I'm not concerned. You guys hit the panic button way too early. I've dug my team out of the fucking hole many times and drug them to the playoffs in the bigger league, which is stiffer competition than you jokers. So I'm not down yet. I'm beaten, but I'm not down. So there's my soapbox for this week. If you do want to join me, speaking of soapboxes, let's go ahead and say it's going to be 11:15 Eastern time. If you would like to join me live on Raider Reaction TikTok, I am going to be taking questions and comments, everything silver and black, related over there. We can talk this depressing scenario that is the Raiders and no offensive line. Somebody needs to call security on them motherfuckers. Fucking O-line's like a fucking sieve. It's like a fucking turnstile with broken arms. You don't even gotta wait for the thing to turn. You just walk through. Why does this... I just noticed that's wrong. Why is that? I fixed that last week. Fucking thing. I blame you. We gotta refresh that. There we go. The date's wrong down there. Alright, well, that's pretty much it for this show. Let's spin around the league. We're gonna be back here. We'll be back 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific next Wednesday. Running a little late. My personal schedule's been a bit off the last few nights. And I just didn't feel like fucking talking about Raiders last night. I just didn't. Quite frankly. I went out and shot pool till fucking wee hours of the morning. I needed to get some strokes in on the table, so fuck it. Sometimes that takes precedence. We are your defending Tampa Bay Tri-Cup champions, so you know, gotta keep it straight around here. We are world qualified to play in the world qualifiers. So I had to get some practice in last night. And I just didn't feel like talking about it. But, you know, I think an open forum is the way to go. So if you feel like joining me... Oh, yeah, shit, I did forget the Survivor League. Thank you, JoJo. Shit, I did forget. You know why I forget? Because I'm not in it anymore. Because I've eliminated already. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to have to put that on the fucking rundown because that's the second time I forgot it. I need to have it on there as a fucking reminder. See, look at JoJo. He's even helping out. Now, we lost 2. We lost 2 this week. We lost our defending champ because he didn't get his pick in by fucking Thursday night kickoff. And we lost Tyler because he was out fucking, I don't know, blowing the fucking side of a head out of some animal out in the woods somewhere. Doing something. Fishing. Something. I don't know. He was doing something. I forget what it was. But he didn't get his pick in time either. With his Canon string internet service, wherever he was at, he's not able to bounce a signal off a mountain, and he was not able to get his pick in, and he was eliminated also. 2 teams, 2 owners picked the Packers. They got dropped, so we are down to a, what are we now? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 left in the Survivor League. 11 left standing. We'll see who survives next week. Almost everybody's got their picks in. Don't forget to get your picks in. Damn, that's a shitty way to get eliminated by not getting your pick in. See, what you should do is put your pick in a week early. You can always go back and change it. You're not locked in. That way, if you don't get to go put your pick in, at least looking at what you looked at the week prior, you know, like this guy down here. Coach Joe, he's doing it right. He's picked out about 4 weeks ahead of time. You know, that way if for some reason you don't get there, at least you got one locked in there. You know, if something happens, you know, you getting, you know, I don't know, you getting a fucking wreck on the way home and you broke your thumbs. Now you're locked up in traction with your thumbs up. I don't know. Shit happens. But that's it. We'll see you next week. We'll talk more fantasy football. Hopefully I got dubs. I took L's in both leagues. I'm sitting at 1-2 and 0-3 right now. I need a bounce back week. I need a bounce back week from football in general. Fucking football was just painful last weekend. It just sucks because I'm used to, you know, if the Raiders are horrible, at least my fantasy teams are doing well. But right now, it's rough on all fronts. It's tough around here. That's why we can't have nice things. I'm out. Peace. Love. Rig Nation.